Everybody, it's Leo from Leero Gaming. Today I'm bringing you another build for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. This is my Sub-Zero Shotguard build. It is a Frostwilder build. If you're into playing with shotguns, if you want to get away kind of from the meta using the cross handbows, this is a really fun playstyle. It destroys CL35 content, no problems. Now, because of popular demand, I am going to start sharing save files with you guys. It may not be ready to go as of posting of this video, but do check the description below. I will be updating that. You will be able to access the save files on my Discord, so make sure to join the Leroy Gaming Discords. I will be updating my other builds with save files as well, so if you're into that, awesome. If not, no biggie. So as with all my videos, you're going to get information on the hero points, passive skills, gear, and playstyle as well. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment below if you have any questions, or if you just want to support me, because as you know, comments go a long way to help with the algorithm and YouTube. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at this build and all the details. All right, guys, before we go into the gear and passives, etc., I did want to take a quick moment to share with you guys two shout outs for people that were big players and helped me kind of develop this build when it comes to collecting the specific gear that was necessary. So I want to start with an individual that I kind of partially named the build after, my buddy On Guard, aka Tyler from Discord. So thank you so much for your initial help, especially in identifying the right type of shotgun for this build. And then towards the home stretch, I really want to help, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce this, Discord member Yaya. It's Jahja. Thank you so much. You helped a lot in bringing together some of the pieces that I was struggling to get for this build. So again, big shout out to you. Thank you so much for that help, and I'll make sure to pay it forward and share the wealth with the community. All right, so that's real quick. Again, thank you guys for the support and the help with this build. And without further ado, now let's go ahead and take a look at the build details as promised. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and start with the hero points, and it's pretty straightforward. As far as Archetype, you can easily go a Village Idiot. That's a pretty safe bet here. We're going to want to max out your strength as much as possible and your dexterity to max out the crit damage and crit chance. And then I pumped the rest into intelligence to get your spell cooldown up a little bit. We are not going to need any attunement because we're going to be constantly refreshing our ability through one of the enchants. So that's all you need to know as far as hero points go. All right, now let's talk about passive tree. It's covered a little bit by my camera here, but we are going to be using Barrage. As far as skill point allocation here, or passive points, Eagle Eye 5 out of 5. Do note my loot gives me 2 out of 5 Bounty of the Hunt. We don't need this at all the way we are built out. We're going to go ahead and put 1 out of 1 into Spore Cloud, and then 5 out of 5 into Bullseye, and then 3 out of 5 into Affinity for that ability damage. Now, notice I put 3 out of 3 in Quiver of Holding here. Main thing here is to get your magazine size up, because you want to make sure that you have 3 ammo in your shotgun instead of 2. If you have a bunch of mythic ranks, you may actually not need this, because you can buff it up to get it to 3 out of 3 as far as ammo. So in theory, you could get rid of this and bump up your ability damage a little bit more if you wanted to. That's kind of up to you. We are going to pick up Medicinal Mushroom. Again, these buffs to the mushroom, sometimes you may get blown up by a random barrel, which happens a lot in this game on higher difficulty levels, and have them come over and res you is really kind of nice, especially if you're playing solo. Windrunner is nice. It's going to increase that movement speed. It's going to help you clear levels much quicker. And then the big thing we're really here for is Wrath of Nature. The gear we're going to have is going to make sure to give us an extra 3 ranks in this. So you're going to get 108% damage increase to anything that gets hit by your ability damage. This is really great for co-op, especially. This is going to increase the damage of what your friends do as well. 1 out of 1 in Headhunter, and finishing up with Play the Angles for those fun ricochet hits with your shotgun. And then we're going to go and support the ice playstyle here, because again, if the name Sub-Zero doesn't give away, we're going for ice build here. So we are going to get 5 out of 5 into Ancestral Frost. Then we're going to get Icebreaker, 3 out of 3. What's nice here is they did clarify it now. Before it would say only when it was frozen, but really, even if you're just partially frozen, you're still going to get some damage boost here. Follow up of the old way. Again, your shotgun builds, you're going to be in medium to close range quite a bit. And so this is going to help you out with an extra 30% damage boost and some survival. Can't go wrong with Instinct. You're going to be reloading every 2 shots. So having faster reload is big. And you will situationally on the boss swap over to a missile launcher. So that weapon swap speed is not bad. Remember, it gets doubled when you're in range, which is going to happen all the time. So 60% weapon swap speed here. And then finish up with 2 out of 3 in Cold Snap to get more movement speed and more frost efficiency, which remember is going to make it so that you freeze things more easily and more quickly. So those are all the passives. Right, now let's talk about gear. And now when it comes to the gear, you're going to want to kind of aim for this type of gear as best as you can. Obviously, depending on your mileage, unless you're using the save file, you might get chaotic, you may get volatile, whatever, primordial. Just the style of the gear is what matters. And when it comes to guns, we care about 2 very specific type of guns. The hardest thing to get is the correct shotgun. So this is a Torgue shotgun. What we care about is having this times 18 multiplier. So this is a boinking body rocker. The body rocker is the element here of assurance. So this is a really godly primordial 250 times 18. It comes with a 2 mag size. And remember, I mentioned during the passive section, you're going to want to either through the passive skills or through your mythic skills, make sure you bump that up to where you have 3 ammo so you can get 2 shots off before every reload. That makes a big difference. And the enchant's going to be the enchanted spore for 10 seconds after activating barrage, which you're going to be spamming. You're going to get a gun and ability damage, have a 25% chance to cause an explosion that is 30% of the damage dealt as poison damage. It's going to help with your AoE burst, which is really, really nice. So that's the primary gun you're going to be using. And then situationally, mainly on bosses, you're going to want to get the Inspiring Twisted Delusion. Again, the quality does not matter. What matters is that this is a rocket launcher that has the special effect at the bottom, fires water missiles that apply soak to targets for a duration. Now they changed the wording, it looks like, on this. It says soaked enemies take more damage from lightning and frost, but less damage from fire. If it's anything like before, it should be 50% more damage for lightning and frost and 50% less damage for fire. So you're going to be shooting a boss of this and then swapping over to the shotgun, and you'll do an extra 50% damage. So those are the only mandatory guns. Technically, only the shotgun is really mandatory. For your melee, we have the Triggered Peg Leg of Mirth. We're going to put on action skill start, increase gun damage by 40% for 10 seconds. This, again, I don't even use it a lot of times. I forget to use it. But what you want to do is just randomly hit things every 10 seconds. It's going to make you move 30% faster and reload 40% faster because, again, you're reloading every 2 shots. This lets you kind of just have your reload cycle be really, really fast. Now your rings, you just want the best possible gun damage ring with while ward is not full, effects are increased 100%. Now, because of the necklace we're going to be using, you will sometimes have your shielding up for max, but not for very long because of the shielding you have. And we'll go over the marking ages. We'll talk about that in just a second. So as far as the rings, obviously if you can get some ability damage on it, nice. If you can get shotgun crit damage on it, nice. But the main thing is high gun damage, and this special while ward is not full. Effects increased by 100%. That's what we care about. Now let's talk about the shield. This is a rare shield. And so what we're using is these marking aegis. Again, Primordial is nice, but really just get any version of this as long as it has the effect while full, shots drain 20%, ward for 100% gun damage. Now you're going to notice it has triple amp modifier on there. The amp element that you see in the description here underneath the recharge rate is what really buffs the damage element. And so this can spawn with different effects. You can have 1 amp, 2 amp, 3 amp is the really, really rare one. So as long as you're getting some levels of amp, that's a key here, and it's going to really supercharge each one of your pellets. Very, very important. And then enchant Spore Warden. Whenever you reload, gain a charge of barrage. This is huge. You're just going to have infinite barrages. Every 2 shots, you're going to be auto-reloading, and you're going to be able to use your arrow shots to ricochet damage, but really to apply to the big enemies you fight that 108% damage increase multiplier. Really, really key here. Now, when it comes to the armor, do note, currently this armor is bugged. And the element that's bugged is the total crit hit chance reduced by 50%, but crit hit damage is increased by 50%. That doesn't necessarily work. So you could get something else in the meantime. I'm having this assuming it's going to get fixed to some level. But what we really care about is the +3 to the Wrath of Nature, this thing right here. And so it's being blocked by my head, but basically what matters is that anytime you attack anything with your ability damage, you're going to increase damage to it by 108% when you're 6 out of 3 for a duration of 12 seconds. Again, Wrath of Nature, this is the main reason you're going to get this armor. And of course, it's nice that it has Spore Warden and Berserker on there because those are the 2 classes. Gun damage is amazing. All damage is amazing. But again, if you're just getting some random armor that you're just finding, as long as it has that +3 Wrath of Nature, that is the biggest element for it. And then, get the best roll you can outside of that. So that's the emphasis on there. Neck piece, again, frost damage and Spore Warden is what you really want on this. And we actually care about the activating an action skill instantly restores 50% of your ward. Over 2 seconds, you're going to be spamming that ability all the time. It's going to make it that you never die. It's also going to make it so that you can get your full shielding and then to have it drop down using the marking aegis. This is how you consistently proc the shield for those crazy damage buffs. So these 2 are mandatory to work together. Even if you have a poorly rolled Harbinger where it's the wrong element, but it has this activating an action skill instantly restores 50% of your ward over 2 seconds, that's still worth it as you're leveling up or gearing up. All right, and now let's talk about the shield. I do want to point out I technically have this not min-maxed when it comes to the enchant because I just recently changed out my peg leg. So you'll notice on both of them I have on action skill start increased gun damage by 40%. So optimally what you could get on this, like on spellcast for example, you can increase your ice damage, or on action start you can increase your elemental damage for example, or ice damage, or minimum you could also go like on spell, increase just your base damage by 15%. So you just don't want to overlap because these will not stack together. Outside of that, again, you're just mainly trying to either increase your gun damage one way or another, or you want to increase your ice damage. Both of them are going to be good, and they're going to synergize with your 2 class-specific buffs, buffing the barrage, as you see on the shotgun, as well as the shield. So that is all the gear you need. All right, and finally, let's talk about the playstyle. The playstyle, luckily, is very, very easy on this. So when you're fighting a boss, for example, you're going to bring out your missile launcher. You're going to shoot the enemy with the missile launcher. Then you're going to swap over to shotgun, bust out your Buffmeister spell, and then you're going to want to shoot the enemy with your action skill. So with your arrows, and at that point, just unload with your shotgun 1 or 2 times. Make sure that you're not using impact bullets. Make sure you swap over to the sticky bullets. And honestly, within 1 or 2 rounds, normally the boss is going to be dead. When it comes to killing trash, you can just mainly run around with your shotgun. You can periodically go ahead and use your bow and arrow action skill. That's mainly what you need. You can bust out the Buffmeister from time to time, but you're just going to overkill most normal enemies. Do remember when you use your action skill, it is going to increase your shielding. Chances are max it out. So not only for survival, but also for proccing that amp element from your shield. So very super easy. Hope that helps you out. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this build. If you did, again, make sure to drop a like, subscribe for more looter shooter content. I'm going to continue supporting this game. And if you're into Outriders, the new Outrider expansion, I'm going to be covering that in depth as well. If you have questions or requests for certain types of builds, drop them in the comments below. If you want to go the extra step, go ahead and check out my loot store in the description is below. If you want cool swag like these t-shirts, mugs, etc., every dollar for those proceeds does go to support the development and growth of the channel. So again, thank you for all the support, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.